Hey, good to see you. Thanks for logging on tonight. This is Trumpet Lessons HQ. My name is Chris Davis. If you don't know me, I'm a trumpet player in Chicago, Illinois, and we're going to do these live sessions every once in a while, a little more frequently, because I want to help you to become a better trumpet player. And so tonight we're going to answer some questions. Live questions take priority, but I always have some questions that I pull from the channel just to get things started. And I just want to say welcome to you. So, thanks for logging on, guys. I see I see everybody's coming on right now. One thing I still don't know. I see you guys coming. Thank you. I don't know how to do this chat, and that's no good. All right. I need to know how to do this. Chat. Found it. Perfect. All right, cool. Um got it. I see a chat now. Right now it's empty, but as you have questions, go ahead and write them in and I will answer them for you. Can you hear me okay? All right, back. Perfect. All right, here we go. See, technology. I lost some people. All right. All right. So let's get started. Thanks again for joining in today. Um, we got the first question here, and it is from Tony Session. He says, "My question is about practice." And before I read this question, um, I wrote the first few questions here because these are the questions I get most often. Many people have these same questions. So by answering this one question, I'm going to hopefully help a lot of people. His question is about practice. I don't know what and how to practice. I do scales, range, and I try to do some improv. Um, my question is about practice. I don't know what and how to practice. All right, so this is what I would like to say about that. Your practice should consist of a few key things on a regular basis. And those things are this: long tones, some type of buzzing, lip slurs. You want to have some finger flexibility. You want to have some sight reading in your practice time. And if you do that, if you at least cover those things, you will grow as a trumpet player. Now, the cool thing about that is that there are different levels of difficulty to each of those things that I mentioned. So you can start out as basic as you need to, and get as advanced as you need to. Um, Really quick, I'll just do a little quick buzzing for you. When it comes to buzzing, just the whole point is just to get the blood to flow here, and that's it. You don't have to do anything crazy. So that's all. Just do the same thing a few times in a row. You have that option, or you can. buzzing, not really complicated. You just want to get the muscles to wake up and things like that. Same thing for long tones. Same thing for long tones. There are a lot of different ways to do long tones, but in a similar way. Let me turn my microphone down. And then you can continue in the pattern up or down as you see fit. Now, just then when I played, I hope you realize it might be kind of hard to tell on the computer here, but I was playing a medium dynamic to a soft dynamic, and that's what you want to do. You don't really want to go all out. We're just starting to play, and that's how you begin. Now, lip slurs. Again, same thing. Depends on where you are, but when you're first starting out in the day, start real simple. Real simple. Turn my mic down for the trumpet. Something really simple like that, just to get the blood flowing. All right. And there are numerous versions of lip slurs that you can do. Finger flexibility. Some things that I like to. My favorite form of finger flexibilities are Clark studies. You got the number one is Clark technical studies. Number one is the chromatic exercise. That's a good place to start because it's chromatic. See. And you repeat that. You can start there. You can go lower, as high as you need to go. Number two, that's the most common one. That's the most common Clark study that you probably hear most often. And if you need a little more of a challenge, you can go on to number three, number four. I can't remember. I'll get those confused. I messed up. So take your pick, take your favorite pick, and start simple. Again, the whole point is to get the blood flowing. So you know, you don't want to go all in just yet. And tonguing. Now, tonguing, again, keep it simple. Just get, or you can tongue those Clark studies that I just demonstrated. And sight reading, you know. So if you don't know how to practice or what to practice, you want to cover all of those things, hopefully. Now, if you don't have a lot of time, some people say I don't have a lot of time. Be very particular about your time. So, for example, if you spend 5 minutes each on each of those things, that's about a half-hour practice session. So all you would have to do is just adjust according to your time and according to your personal needs. If you need more time on the finger flexibility, spend more time on the finger flexibility. Add an extra 2, 3, 5 minutes. And it's just as simple as that. So that's all for now regarding that. And let's go on here. Next question I have here says, I've been learning to play the trumpet for about 2 years. Okay. No prior music training. My instructor, an educator who teaches several instruments, but is himself primarily a drummer, is upfront and letting me know that at some point I'll need to further my education with the trumpet teacher. Yeah, that's true. In your estimation, at what point in my development might I likely be ready to make that transition? Okay, my answer is as soon as possible. That's it. As soon as you can, make that change. And he's telling you that, so he's probably noticing that you're, reaching that point of his limitations and being able to help you. Um, which is fine, as long as you got a good start. The thing about other people teaching you how to play trumpet when they don't play trumpet themselves is that they probably aren't able to identify the problem areas as quickly as another trumpet player would. So for that reason, it's good for you to get another trumpet player a trumpet teacher as soon as you can. Another thing I want to show you is the most common thing that I see in students that learn to play trumpet from teachers who are not trumpet players is like a puckered embouchure, some version of that, and as a result, they kind of sound weird. I'll show you what I mean when I say weird. You hear some version of that, and a trumpet teacher will just help you with that. You get your lips in. That'll help you with that sound. Okay. The next question says, I supplement my study using Carmine Caruso's calisthenics. I am just now being able to hit the G above the staff. And I attribute much of this small achievement to the calisthenics. Yes, 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 yes. Are there any particular exercises in Caruso's book that you would recommend at my stage of development? And by the way, this is the same person as the previous question. So they've been playing for about 2 years, right? I sometimes struggle mightily trying to go higher, even becoming lightheaded at times. Okay. Yeah, that's a common thing. All right. So a couple of things to touch on. I supplement my study with Caruso. That's good that it's a supplement. Good. I'm just not being able to hit the G. Okay. Are there particular exercises? Okay, so you're only about 2 years in. So, the beginning of the book is really good enough for you right now, in my opinion. You got the long tones in the beginning, and then it starts to go to the interval of a second. And that's I mean, those are pretty tough exercises for the body. That's good enough for now. There's some exercises, I forget how many pages in, but you got the harmonic series. You might begin to play with that if you like. But Caruso, I think that's advanced. And I talk about Caruso in my videos, but I really believe that's for more advanced players, people who've been playing for maybe approximately 6 years or so and more. Before that, the fundamentals, the basics, what we were talking about before, that's good enough. If you think about it, you're going to gradually build up to that. I sometimes struggle to hit the higher notes, becoming lightheaded at times. I think we've all been there before. So when you're lightheaded and you're typically trying to play high notes when that happens because you're probably tense. I mean, I've experienced it myself, and usually in those situations, and I think back, like when I was in high school, for example, trying to learn how to play a high C, and everybody around me could play the high C and I couldn't do it. And then they were playing D's, and then they were playing E's and F's and G's, and I was barely in the C. And I remember when I finally did it, I was like, oh yeah, that was kind of cool. Oh, this is how you do it. And then I try to go higher to a D, and as trumpet players, for some reason, we're really fascinated with playing high. And I kind of get it. And I remember one particular day, I think I played a high E, but then I passed out, like you said, I got lightheaded, and I just fell straight back to the stool behind me. But on the stool was a straight mute, and I sat right on it, and that woke me up so fast. It was like bullseye, if you know what I mean. So that was kind of a weird feeling. But the reason I got lightheaded was because I wasn't breathing. Now today, I'm a lot more advanced than I was then, of course, and playing those same notes, they're very easy in comparison, and that's because I've learned how to do it, and my practice is different. So regarding high notes, and I have a lot of questions about high notes, and I talk about this in my video about high notes, so I probably will link to it. Um, and in no particular order, but this is what you need to happen. And this takes time. You can't fast forward this process. You got to get the strength here. Your muscles have to be strong right here. All right. And the reason they have to be strong is not so that you can press against your face, which a lot of people do. The reason that your muscles must be strong here is so that you can stand all of the wind power that's going to come past. That's not even high note wind right there. I'm not even really pressing hard or blowing hard right now. But you have to put some power, some purpose. I think that's a better word behind your wind. And this has to be strong enough that it doesn't fall apart. If it's not strong enough, I'm exaggerating, but everything will fall apart. And what happens as a result is you begin to depend on the mouthpiece to hold your armature in place, and that should not be. If you depend on the equipment to hold your armature in place, you don't have a good solid foundation. All right. So, um, I think people should forget about trying to play high. You got to have goals. I'm not saying not to have goals, but really focus on getting the best sound you can. And of course, build it little by little every day. If it's chromatically, or if you're building it through slurs, however you choose to do it. I hope that makes sense. Um, Sometimes I lose my place in my thinking, but again, as I was saying, in high school, I was getting lightheaded and passing out, and now today it's a little easier. Actually, it's a lot easier, and that's also because I built the strength. I learned where to put my tongue placement. You hear the change in pitch just as I do that. That's part of it. And the other part is just being calm and comfortable. Um, you get lightheaded and you almost pass out when you're not calm and you're not comfortable, and you're not in the moment. I had a instance where I almost passed out live in front of an audience in an auditorium a few years ago. And my second born was just born, and I wasn't sleeping. I wasn't eating well, and I was excited about the moment, and I wasn't living in the moment. And then I would have to play some high notes, and my breathing was shallow, and as a result, there's that lightheadedness, and I almost passed out. Now, just take your time, be comfortable, breathe deep, and that lightheaded feeling will not happen so often. Thank you for that question. A lot of people had that question. All right. Next question is about breathing. Oh, here we go. I still struggle with taking in sufficient air. Okay. When I get a when I get a quick rest and then begin to be able to continue without straining. Okay. The fact that I'm totally relaxed when that happens is clear. Yeah. Okay, you just answered your own question. Okay, I don't think it was a question. I still struggle with taking in sufficient air. Okay, so I'm going to pretend that's the question, and you're asking how to take in better air. So there are a few different breathing exercises that a person can do. I have my metronome here on my phone. I'm going to turn it on, and it's kind of cramped here. I'm trying to sit here at the computer, but let's do this real quick. Turn my metronome on. All right, here we go. So about 72 beats. I'm just 72 beats. Not much faster than this. Probably slower. Let's go to 66. All right, so posture is everything. Sit up tall, preferably stand up. Um, and take a deep breath in. Always fill up from the bottom first, and then you come fill up the top. All right. There's something called the oh gosh, I can't remember the name of these videos. It's right here on YouTube. I'm gonna put it in the comments. Sorry, when I remember the title, these guys did this whole breathing demonstration. It's like an hour long or so. I'm gonna have to find out what it's called and link to it. But anyway, use a metronome to keep honest. Fill up from the bottom to the top. All right. Now I'm full right now and I'm still talking to you. All right. You want to have that kind of control. You're opening your throat. All right. And then just put it out with purpose. I'm going to choose 4 counts. All right. And you do that a few times. That's just one thing that you could do. All right. Oh, check this out. My friend taught me this. This was kind of dope. I'm losing people on the breathing. Nobody wants to hear the stuff you need to learn. When you fill up, actually, I don't need to mention. When you fill up, take in some small sips of air like you're sipping through a straw. And what you feel is this. You feel like you can't go anymore. You can't fill up anymore. And then you start sipping and you really feel the stretch. All right, going on. I'm losing people. How do I learn a way to not have to stop playing and change my armature from middle C to high C? Okay, I understand what you mean. Um, yeah, so what people do is they tend to like have 2 different armatures for high and then uh the middle register, and that should not be. So what can you do? Start in the middle of the instrument and just play a scale going down and then come back up where you started, and without taking the horn off your face, go high. It's getting late in my house, so I'm gonna put this mute in. So it's something like this. All right, so I went from G down to C, and then I went back up to G, and now I'm going to go beyond G. All right, so you can do exercises like that and take it through the keys. Um, all right, here we go. Scales and lip slurs throughout the range of the trumpet. Um, oh, I'm sorry, that was a note to myself. The question is, my greatest challenge is the range and endurance. Okay, what do I have to say about range and endurance? I think I kind of said it already, actually. Um, yeah, I did. I said it already. What I have to say about that? Okay, I have a question here about hearing the pitch in my head. How do I hear the pitch in my head? I guess is the question. Somebody just wrote hearing the pitch in my head. So I have my keyboard here. You can't hear that, can you? All right. Sorry if you can't hear it. So basically, what you want to do is just get a piano, play a note, and hum that note. That's one thing you can do. But I just kind of randomly did that. But what happens if you start playing like chords? Listen to this. All right. So, it can start there, okay? That's really basic. That's really basic. It's not too complicated at first. Some people can't do that, and that's where you start. I think humming. If you notice, I was humming. I think it's a little easier to hum versus ha ha. Some people don't are uncomfortable with that. Um, yeah, when I work with students, typically younger people, they're more cool with humming because they think, oh, I can't sing. I don't want to embarrass myself. But humming, they're cool with humming. It kind of feels good too. Now, the next level after that would be maybe to uh, pick a simple recording, a fragment of a recording, and just try to hum along. Uh huh. I Story time. One time I was in the line waiting for my food in college, and I had some headphones on similar to this. All right, and I was singing along to a Clifford Brown solo, and this girl was looked at me sideways, and I just saw her lips moving. I was Music was blasting, and I was singing along. She looked at me sideways, and she said something to me, and stopped and looked at me, and she said whatever it was again, and I was like, okay, let me see what she's saying. Yes, what were you saying? And she said, "Are you slow?" I'm like, "No, I'm not slow." Just put my headphones back on. But I was singing along to a Clifford Brown solo. I was singing along to a jazz tune with no lyrics. People aren't used to seeing that. But that's what it takes sometimes, to begin to be able to produce the pitches that you're hearing in your mind. You got to sing along to recordings or to the piano and match what you can. All right. So that's all I have right now. And I'm going to stop right there. I don't see any questions in the comments. So if you did write a question, I can't see it. And let me know, because after I shut down here, everything's going to disappear, and I need to know. So write me an email or something. The best thing you can do is to join the email list, please. And I'm going to put that in the link. This video is going to be up indefinitely, probably. And please join the email list. I have some giveaways that I'm creating for you. If you're not already on the email list, you can sign up now. You get the Trumpet Players checklist of books and tools. And if you are on the email list, I'm going to send it to you anyway. So no worries. Okay. And I just want to say thanks for logging on today. I really appreciate you guys. I've been really enjoying having interaction with you back and forth in email and in the comments here on YouTube. And I want to keep it going. So let me know if this is a good time of day to do this kind of thing, or if you prefer the lunch hour. And we're going to try to find our groove. Appreciate you. Thanks a lot, and God bless you.